Welcome into Racing to Win, previewing Happy Valley on a Wednesday night. 9-race program coming up at the City Circuit. We've got it covered for you here on the show. And joined on the panel today by Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, we can't talk about Wednesday night without going back to Sunday, and what a fantastic day for the locals.
Yeah, what a remarkable day it was for all the Hong Kong runners, Mark. Golden 60, of course, Romantic Warrior hacking up in the QE2 Cup. And what about Lucky Swainess in the sprint? Japan is now off the cards. I understand he didn't eat up fully on Sunday night, so he's off for a little break.
Well deserved too. Well, Paul, Lucky Swainess, highlight of Sunday?
I think Romantic Warrior winning, it was really impressive there. And you can't take away from Golden 60 winning again. I mean, all three races lived up to the bill, didn't they? Because we were hoping that the Hong Kong horses would live up to what we've seen here on the world stage, and they did.
All right, we need to turn the page for Wednesday night. Jackpots.
Yeah, so there's a good jackpot here of 1.7 million going into the triple trio. That's the only one to speak of at this stage. But look, there's 9 races to be won, and some good fields, I think, towards the end of the card.
We're going to preview the last couple of races on the show. Before we get there, Tom, there was a new name on the trial sheets this morning at Sha Tin. Brenton Avdullah's joined us, only had one trial ride, and he won.
He did. He rode Sergeant Pepper for me. Troy, great to have Brenton here. He's a two-time winner of the biggest 2-year-old race in Australia, the Golden Slipper, the most recent one in 2022. 13 Group 1 wins next to his name, Paul, with over 1,300 winners.
Yeah, he's a good addition, I think, to the ranks here as well. So we know how competitive it is up here, and I think he'll be right up to that.
3 rides. Laura's, Villafillon, couple of veterans. Nakoni County, the best of that 3, Paul?
Yeah, look, I think with Laura's it's a good one to start at Happy Valley, because Happy Valley can be a tricky course, but Laura's is a really straightforward horse. He goes forward.
And he's always backed.
He is, yes, the old green-lamped Laura's. Well, speaking of Brenton, Nick spoke up with the new rider in town earlier today.
Brenton Avdullah, always great to welcome a new face to Hong Kong. Great to see you here, and your kickstart, what is a short stint. First of all, you must be extremely excited to be a part now of racing in Hong Kong.
Yeah, very much so. It's on every jockey's bucket list, and I just felt the timing was right to come now. I've thought about it in the past, but you know, we've got a young family now, 1.5 and 3.5. I just thought, you know, the time is right now and to give it a go, and we'll dip our toe in the water and see how we enjoy it.
Talking of dipping your toe in the water, I did go back and read an article. You obviously have ridden here before. That didn't quite go to plan. Tell us a little bit more about that.
No, came here for international meeting. Was on a mare called In Her Time for the Group 1 sprint, and she fell lame race morning, so didn't get to participate in that, but we had another steer around that day, and yeah, it was just good to be here. You know, obviously gave me a somewhat little taste for Hong Kong in a way, but really enjoyed the event. And like I said, it's always been on the list very high up to get here, and I feel I've achieved everything I've wanted to in Australia at the moment. Obviously winning a premiership and multiple Group 1s and won some good races. So I feel it's nice to hopefully test myself on the world stage again. I've been in Japan, had several contracts there, so nice to be in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it leads me on nicely actually to my next question. Obviously for those that don't know too much about you, obviously back in Australia, a former champion there in Sydney. Obviously some big race wins. There's an Oaks win that certainly is well remembered by many. Do you feel now that sort of Hong Kong, as you say, is somewhere that you would like to potentially try and base yourself?
I think so, yeah. Look, and you look at the calibre of riders from Australia that have came here. You know, obviously now Huey that's here now, and how successful he's been since I think mid-November, and obviously all the derbies and that to go with it. So you know, I've ridden next to Huey basically for a long time, for a number of years now, and we've fought premierships out together. He's beat me, I've beat him. So I take good confidence out of that I can come to Hong Kong and be successful given the right opportunities. But we'll work hard and do that. But yeah, I could see myself hopefully that if things going well, yeah, you know, the 3 month stay that I'm here for can obviously extend.
Brenton leaving the door open for a possible longer stay here in Hong Kong. A scratching on Wednesday night is where we move to now. Ready Player 1 is out. Royal Pride comes in. Hugh Bowman takes the ride for Casper Founds. The meeting details for this week, they look as follows. With 9 races, the rails going back into the A position for Wednesday night, and it's meeting number 67 of the season. 2 races we feature, races 8 and 9, the Class 3s over the 1650 and 1200 metres. Race number 8 is the Selkirk Handicap. Zone D carries the top weight again, but gets a good draw. Red Majesty's an 8-time course and distance winner. Winning Dragon much better last time, but has gate 12. Helene Feeling, he was winner on the 6th of April, carries an extra £6 for the victory. Law Baby's racing well. Maldives has run second at his last 2 starts. Villafillon normally struggles up in this grade. Top T goes to the 1650 for the first time in Tattenham. Was scratched on the 15th of April when he got the leg over the front of the gates. The hood's gone on. He's had the 2 trials since that incident. Now, the speed map here, Tom. We run the 1650 metre course, and Red Majesty might finally get himself a comfortable enough lead.
Yeah, he hasn't really been able to find the front his last couple. He was just off them last time out, and he's been a little bit disappointing with those last couple of runs, particularly last start anyway, Red Majesty. Winning Dragon had a nice run on the fence. He pretty much had every chance in the trail. It should set it up nicely, Paul, for Helene Feeling to get a nice run through. And Top T drawn barrier 2 for De Souza.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be far away. Packing Succeed, another one that can get a nice run. Zone D, he's drawn barrier 1 Zone D, but he gets back all the time. He hasn't got any of that early speed, and Villafon, another one that likes to get back.
What about Loyal Baby, Paul? We've seen him being ridden really tough out there 3 wide. Do you think he might go on with it if he gets caught out on that limb again?
Yeah, he could try to. I just think that, and that might put a little bit of extra speed into the race, but Red Majesty, Winning Dragon, I think with the apprentice on as well, is going to definitely go forward.
All right, one horse that always goes back is Maldives. He's looking to go 1 better than his last 2 starts, and Nick spoke to Alexi Vidal.
Alexi, Maldives is one of your rides on Wednesday night. You haven't had that long an association with him, but so far it's been pretty good without winning, and he went really close last time.
Yeah, he's been very consistent. We've had the chance to have inside draws the last 2 runs. I think it helps a lot for his chances. But the horse is doing well, and last time was very unfortunate to find someone a bit stronger. And he seems to be in good form. I rode him in the morning. He looks fine.
It's interesting you say that, because having gone back through his form and looking at sort of times when he has won, he's always looked like a horse that does appreciate that cover. Does he give you the feel of a horse that wants to be sort of covered up and then produced at the right time?
Yes, that's right. Definitely. He's. I've described his racing style as a bit patient. Yeah. He likes to come through horses and finish strong on the line quite late.
Going back and having a look at his run last time, obviously only narrowly denied. That gap just opened up beautifully for you, didn't it, on the home turn? It almost was perfect.
Yes, I mean, I was a little bit frustrated not to win, because I thought it was hard to do anything better to help its chance. And he quickened really well. Like I thought I was home, and I couldn't deliver. So I was a bit frustrated, and hopefully this time should be the one.
That is Alexi Bedell. Some of the opposition, Tom, to Maldives includes Winning Dragon, who's coming off this 3rd at Happy Valley last time. Villafon, he's better in Class 4 as a rule. Can he repeat Winning Dragon, though, this week? Yeah,
well, he's got barrier 12. That was the thing that did worry me a little bit with him, especially with Angus Chung on board from out there. I thought he had every chance in the trail last time out. He's not going to be afforded the same sort of run this time round, Paul. And saying that, this race was a blanket finish, and Villafon actually wasn't far away.
No, it wasn't too far, was he? But, yeah, I agree with you. He didn't quite make it in for me.
All right, one horse that might make it in, Paul, is Helene Feeling. This was his 2nd start in Hong Kong. He's in the last 3 turning for home here. Red Majesty runs 4th, and Winning Dragon, he finishes down the track this night.
Yeah, look, he did. And, look, he was very brave, I thought. He went through the gaps at the right time, and he got to the front really quickly. As you say, he was in the last 3, but within 100 metres, he'd put himself right in the race. Rocket Spade, to be fair, is a bit of a non-winner, but he'd been very consistent, so I thought it was a good win from him.
Yeah, and of course, his first up run, he was beaten by How Deep Is Your Love. He came out and won the other night. He looks like he's acclimatised really well here and quickly, and he's trialled up nicely since.
Here is that trial, actually. Thomas behind Amazing Victory, who we see run on the weekend.
Yeah, and he followed him sort of into the race, and it was a 3-way battle between a few horses down towards the line here over the 1,200 metre trip on the all-weather. He wasn't really put under any pressure at all, and just like the way finished off here. So I think he's still got a few rating points in hand at this stage.
I agree. Look, he's unexposed really with just these 2 starts to date. He's run really well on both of them. Wasn't let go at all in this trial. So, look, I think he can win this race.
He's a bit slow away on debut, but certainly got it right, even though he was back in the field in his 2nd start. Packing Succeeder, Paul, struggled at his first go in this grade. He's been back to the trials and it looked all right.
Yeah, I thought the trial was pretty good. Packing Succeeder, he's drawn nicely in barrier number 4. We've got a change of jockey with Matthew Chadwick going aboard. I've included him. I think there is another win in there for him.
Yeah, we might get an idea on the form again of this trial with Star Ascension and the gold cap going around earlier on in the night, but he's finished off well at the latter part of that trial there. Bit keen early last time out, so just hope he settles better this time.
Let us look at the runners in race number 8. Of them, Paul, who wins?
I think Helene Feeling, he can get this perfect run just in behind the pace from a good draw, and he's on top for me. Zone D, he gets back, he always runs on late. Maldives in there for third, another one that gets back, and Packing Succeeder, 5, 1, 8, 11.
Yeah, absolutely can't argue with any of those there. I like the horse Helene Feeling as well, number 5 for Zach Pertinent. Danny Schimp, trial looked good last win, got it over Rocket Spade, so 5 to beat 1, Zone D, gets back but finished off well last time out. He was a bit slow away there as well. No trial, no pressure on his recent trial up at Chungfa. He was out the back. Maldives ran second to Rattan Kingdom, only beaten Nanekis, one off a similar rating in the past, and Packing Succeeder off the trial. Disappointing last time out, so we'll just need to settle better. 5, 1, 8 and 11.
All in agreement, both Tom and Paul for race number 8. We're off to a break here on Racing to Win. We'll have race number 9 on the other side of this. You are watching Racing to Win as we look at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. We've seen race number 8. We can't go back any further, so we're going to go on to race number 9 now. We can't go back to race 7 after race 8, Paul. Stop raising your eyebrows. It's the wheelchair handicap over the 1,200 metres end of Class 3. Gold Baby's at the top of the book. He had some mucus in the system last time. Nordic Dragon carries an extra £9 for his last start win. Lucky 8 had the perfect trip and he might get it again. He ran third behind Nordic Dragon when they last met. California Sybil back from the 1400 at Sha Tin. Coney County's last three has been over at Sha Tin. We've got Equalita Blitz with the visor off and the blinkers going back on. Phoenix like Zach Purton, 1 ride for 1 win. Magic Phoenix we haven't seen since January, and Cofield is coming off that 5th behind Sonpak Fu. He's actually eligible for a Class 4 race. Now the speed here, Tom, expected to be good, and we are going back to race number 9 with Active Faith leading. Yeah,
he can certainly come across from barrier number 8. He was up outside the leader Exponential, and in the end those two dominated the race. They finished 1 and 2. Equalita Blitz has got some speed. He's got the blinkers going back on, the visor off from barrier number 10. Looks a little tricky for Wagner Borges and Magic Phoenix out wide there in barrier 12. But Lucky 8, Paul, should get a lovely run through.
Yeah, perfect run from barrier 1. And I thought California Sybil will be in the right spot as well. Nordic Dragon, when he was held up, he has led earlier in his career, Nordic Dragon, but when he was held up last time, he ran really well, did Nordic Dragon.
And we know Go Gold Baby likes to get back and roar home. But it is a horse that races well around Happy Valley that we are going to focus on. Nordic Dragon is his name, and his rider is Hugh Bowman.
Hugh Bowman, Nordic Dragon, one of your rides on Wednesday night. Did a good job to return to the winner's enclosure last time.
He did, Nick. He ran very well 2 starts ago, and you know, it wasn't unexpected to see him do what he did last start, and he did it with a bit of authority. So he's drawn middle of the field this time, so I feel like he's, you know, matured mentally in the couple of times that I've been on his back, and I don't see any reason why he can't repeat that performance.
Just the nature of the win last time out, you say he did it with a bit of authority. It was quite noticeable that it was very much a hands and heels ride late on. Were you always confident that you'd pick up the leader and eventual runner-up?
I was, although it did put on a bit of a fight when I levelled up to it, which is often the case here in Hong Kong. So, but he did win. He came from well back. He got into a really good rhythm mid-race, and I would expect, like I said, him to do the same. He seems to be more effective ridden, you know, just been switched off early in his races, but with a better draw and with the advantage of having those 2 runs where he has been ridden a bit quieter than he was before I rode him. You know, I think his racing pattern will start to adapt pretty swiftly.
Has that been the feeling from Connections? Obviously, he made all to win on his debut, but I guess, you know, that was a lesser grade sort of thing. Are they of the opinion now that he is the type of horse that you sort of wait with and he's a better horse coming from behind?
Well, I mean, we had to sort of overdo it a bit the first time I rode him because he drew really wide and he really was fierce, but he settled into a good rhythm mid-race and finished off well on what was a pretty frantic speed that day, mind you. And then last start, they didn't go quite so fast. He did things a bit more economically in the middle of the race and finished accordingly. So I can see him performing well again in this class, and I can see him performing well if and when he goes up in Class 2.
That is Hugh Bowman on Nordic Dragon. Paul, what about the extra weight with him this week?
Yeah, he's up a bit of weight, isn't he? Up that £9 for that win. Look, I still think he's a really good chance, though. He sort of lost his way. He looked really good in his first couple of starts, lost his way, but he seems to have found it back now.
I think what maybe helped with him that they sort of tried to teach him to race sort of 2 runs ago, and he was back in the field and had a few things go against him, but he was good last time out. I will say when he did win, there was a bit of rain about, and I don't think at that sort of stage of the night the track was rated good at all.
OK, that is Nordic Dragon. As we move on to some of his opposition, Tom, we're going to start with Jumbo Fortune, who hasn't been with Pierrong for too long, but he's been running home very strongly, and Cobefield's the other horse in this race in those blue and white colours. Is he a case of he does it every week, Jumbo Fortune, and runs fourth?
Yeah, and he's on a 7-day turnaround here, so he's on a quick backup, but did like the way he ran on behind Son Pak Fu, and he's a horse that just keeps winning at the moment, but he does this, gets back, runs on, and you'll sort of say next time, and then he comes out and does the same thing over 12 or 1,400 metres.
He does, doesn't he? Look, he was right on the cusp for me, just because of that running style, but he didn't quite make it.
Now, we saw Lucky 8 in the interview with Hugh. That was his last start, third, where he had every chance. This is 2 starts ago, Paul, where he's getting through on the inside. He comes up with a great draw again of barrier number 1. One of your old favourites, California Sybil, also runs in this race. Didn't quite stretch out to 1,400 metres. Prefer him back to Happy Valley this week.
Yeah, I definitely do, and I think he might be the forgotten horse. He has won off this rating, although be it he got relegated, but look, so he is capable, and he wasn't too far away here. Lucky 8, a really nice win from him. He had to work really hard in the final stages to get up, but he did it. He did the job.
Yeah, it definitely goes into Sir Lucky 8 again. Maybe last time out, just the wetter track conditions at the back end of the night might have not been to his liking.
That is Lucky 8 in California Sybil. This, Tom, is Nakoni County running at Shah 10, where his last 3 starts have been. One over 1,200 metres this race, the 2 prior down the straight over 1,000. 2-time winner course and distance, Happy Valley.
Can't get a gate though, Nakoni County, but I did actually like the way he ran on in this race. He got a fair way back, and look, he was still beaten 5 1/4, and this was a race behind Golden Express, and he put them to a sword a fair way out, and he's going to line up again at the weekend amongst the nominations for Sharton. But look, he is making good ground there, Paul, Nakoni County.
Yeah, he did finish off nicely, didn't he? And he is better here, as you say. He's a 2-time course and distance winner, so look, he's definitely one of the chances. Barrier 11, as you say, is just a little bit tricky.
And Brenton Avdulla takes the ride on him. One thing he does have in his favour, Paul, is the Casper Founds polish. The stable had a great April.
They have, haven't they? You can see 60 runners for those 11 wins and a good strike rate as well. So, look, the stable's definitely in form.
Yep, they've had plenty of winners around to Happy Valley over the last few weeks. He's got Loyal Ambition in race number 1, Charming Seed. Royal Pride has come off the standby list into race number 3, and certainly not a forlorn hope. Young Life Forever coming back in trip. June Planet continues to run on. Nunchucks further down in the night, and then you've got Victory Scholars up in grade, the last start winner, and Nakoni County. So I think at least a couple can go well there, Paul.
Yeah, there's a few there that have got good chances on it.
On the first on Sunday too with Packing Hurricane Dig Casper. Next replay features Tom Active Faith. There he is there up on the pointy end. 2 starts this grade for 2 placings. Phoenix Light is following through in behind him. Heroic Master is wider at, and Gold Baby winds up with an excuse here. He just did not run at all and run on at all, and the reason was clear in the steward's report. He had a whole lot of mucus in the system.
Yeah, so that didn't suit him. And saying that, he was actually only beaten 3 lengths when he was right in the mark as well at 3.8. So I think a definite forgive for him. This race dominated, Paul, by the top 2, Exponential and also Active Faith. But Magnac's come out and won. Heroic Master, I still wonder about him at 1,200, but he was making ground.
He was making it, but I prefer to see him over 1,000. I think Gold Baby will get back and try and mow them down late.
That's the way he does like to race. To some trial form now, Paul. Magic Phoenix. Now, he's probably going to need a lot of luck to win on debut. The trial was under one of the apprentices, but it looked pretty sharp at Shartin.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it at all? And he did manage to trial off really nicely, this horse. Unknown here at coming to Happy Valley, that was the query.
Yeah, that would worry me a little bit as well. But the trial did seem to be okay, but it was in behind Midori Beauty, who has been beaten again, and All Greek to me as well, who's also been beaten. So I'm not sold.
All right, question marks on Magic Phoenix there despite the trial at Shard 10. Good race to end the night, as it usually is on a Wednesday, Paul. Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to go, I think California Sybil might be over the odds. He is capable, he has one off, well, he was relegated, but he's first past the pace over this rating. Lucky 8 should get the perfect run. Nordic Dragon, we'll just see how he goes, and Gold Baby hitting this line strongly. 5-4-2-1.
Yeah, I'll go with Gold Baby. He had a clear excuse last time out with mucus. Comes into with us in relatively good form. He's a 3-time winner course and distance. He's 1-2 in the grade. I don't think he should have too many issues carrying £135. He's a big, strong horse. So a Gold Baby. Nordic Dragon goes in off that last win. He looked pretty impressive there, I thought. Active Faith and Lucky 8. 1, 2, 10 and 4.
There it is, race number 9, all wrapped and tipped as well. But before we get to races 8 and 9, Paul, there's 7 other winners to find.
Yep, we've got a couple of Class 5s to start. I thought Jolly Honour is a very well rated horse in race number 1, but it's again wide open, that one. Sunshine Legendary was really good last start. I think he can win again, this horse. Beauty Mission's on the cusp of a win as well. Dream Pursuer's going to overcome a bit of a wide draw, but he's going nicely at the moment. Splendid Living is a winner waiting to happen. Exuberant, a good runner-up at his last start. And Hoss continues to impress.
Do you want to tell the story how Hoss was named?
Save that for the night.
All right, which one is the best? Is it Hoss the best bet?
No, well, I think he's going to come too short, Hoss, but he should win. Splendid Living, I like him. I think he's winner waiting to happen. Should go to the front and be tough to run down. So race 5, number 3, and we'll make the long shot in the last there. California Sybil, he's currently 13s. Hopefully he stays something around that price. We'll do a play in race number 7. O-Liner should be a massive price, 50 to 1, with Jolly Ruler and the short price favourite Hoss, 257 QQP.
Yeah, we'll go with Gold Baby. He can let rip down the outside. So hopefully he's got that lovely grass cutter action, does Gold Baby. Race 9 at number 1, Francis Loy. And race 4, number 7, Good View Glory. Son of American Pharaoh. I thought his run over 1,000 metres was very good last time out from a wide draw. He's up and trip from a good draw. And the play with the Zone D, Helene Feeling, I think can win again. And Maldives went pretty well last start. So 1, 5 and 8.
Matthew Chadwick in form at the moment. He rides for Frankie Law in race 3 on Beauty Mission. Second start over the 1,600 metres. Run on well to place at his first look at the trip. Regency Masters last 2 at Happy Valley have been a win and a second, and he has won off a rating 45 in the past. And the play, a QQP in the third. The standby starter comes in, a live chance. Royal Pride, Beauty Mission and Amazing Boy 1, 7 and 10. That has been a look at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Tom, now there's no Group 1s at Sha Tin on the weekend, but there is more group racing.
There is Queen Mother Memorial Cup, one of the great trophies on the calendar here in Hong Kong. And, well, straight Aaron lines up there, Paul, against the likes of Senor Toba, Russian Emperor.
Yeah, sword points in there as well, and also Panfield, so it should be a very good race.
And a big 11 race program also with the Griffins.
Yeah, we've got some of those Griffins stepping out once again. Kaholo Angel's going to go out, who did win the first Griffin race.
We'll see you at Happy Valley Wednesday night, the first 6:45.